Hello and welcome to this masterclass, the first of two that we will be doing as part of our Mid-Atlantic region workshop. And I'm so excited to be here today with our illustrious panel of visitors, which include teachers and clinicians, as well as wonderful student singers. The format of the class today will include a video performance by the
Hello
student.
And welcome to this
Excuse me.
masterclass.
Sorry about that. The first will be a video performance by the student, followed by work with the student between the clinician and the student having conversation together for the class. The program can be found on our Mid-Atlantic region website under the masterclass information, so please go ahead and find that there. We also have some alternates that we didn't have space for on this particular program, but our plan is to feature the alternates in an asynchronous playlist recital that will be posted and available on YouTube. And the format of the alternate recital will include a similar format where the student will have their performance and then the teacher that has been assigned to them will be giving them a response via video. So when you have the playlist link, you will be able to just watch that consecutively, one clip right after the other, and be able to follow along with a virtual recital in the true sense of the word whenever you're ready for it as well. So to start off, I would like to introduce our alternates first so that you can say hello and so that you can get to see them and be introduced to them. The first alternate on the Friday program today is Katie Marcelino. Katie, you want to say hello?
Hey everyone, glad to be here.
Katie is a student of Craig Allen, and Katie will be working with Dr. Terry Bickham. Hello, Terry.
Hello.
Thank you for being here. Our second student that is on the alternates program is Brianna Robinson, who is a student of Serena Hill LaRoche. I believe that she's not able to be with us here in the Zoom, but we thank Brianna and Serena for their participation. Her video will be commented on by Madeline Gray. Hello, Madeline.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm here too. Hi.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Sorry about that. Sorry, Brianna. Say that one more time. Oh, there you are. Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. Okay, great. And then the next alternate is Bronwyn Weichert, who's a student of Dr. Terry Bickham. Bronwyn?
Hi, everybody. I'm right here.
Thank you. Hi, nice to see you.
You too.
And Bronwyn will be worked with on the alternate recital with Dee Dee Francis. Hello, Dee Dee. Oops, Dee Dee, I think she's...
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Okay. Thank you. And then we also have Gaston Finger, who's a student on today's program, but is also has a second piece as an alternate. So hello, Gaston.
Hi.
Gaston is a student of Amy Ayer, and Dr. Robert Wells will be working with him. Hello, Robert.
Hello. Good to see everybody.
Thank you. Wonderful. And our final clinician, our final alternate is Samuel Polk, and I see he's here now. Hello, Samuel.
Hello.
Hi, nice to see you. And Samuel is my student of me, Dr. Jill Terhar-Lewis. And Samuel will get comments from Katie DeFilio, Dr. Katie DeFilio. Hello, Katie.
Hi everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We welcome everybody here, and the alternates and teachers are welcomed in this class so that we can see faces. It's much nicer to do these things when people are visible and able to be seen. So we will start with our first student on the program. We will play the video, and then the student will be getting will be able to be worked with the clinician in the format of the class, and I will be keeping time, and hopefully we'll be able to do that together. So our first student is Hannah Sermetta. Sorry, Hannah. Hannah is a student of Keeley Phillips Carter, and she will be working with Craig Allen.
Hello. You ready to sing today? Oh, we are. So I think actually, Jill, she's going to sing with her track. Is that correct, Jill? Hannah? Is that what you were planning on doing?
Nope.
No, you want the video to play? Okay, cool.
Yeah, we have the videos set up, and here we have it ready.
Sermetta, and I will be singing again from Bandstand by Richard Oberacker. Once upon a time, I would wake beside a man who would make me feel like nothing could take him from me. Once I thought forever was real. I thought my life was ideal. I thought that nothing could steal it, you see. Once I learned how wrong I had been, that sometimes dreams can cave in, and what then? Once I learned the hard way, faith in ever after was done, and I gave up ever wondering when love will come and find me again. And it's almost like time has stood still, like a lifetime iced under a frost, and I don't try to warm from the chill, although I know how much I've lost. Trouble is, the more you deny, the more you don't even try, the more the world passes by in a haze. Soon you find you don't even know how many years you let go. The chance is wasted in so many ways. Lately I've been thinking it's time to take a look at what I'm doing then. Clinging to if only. Heaven knows there's more than one man, and maybe I should be planning for when love will come and find me again. Letting go of what might have been, and letting something else in. Only then love will come and find me again.
Mute myself. And add spotlight. Hello there.
Hello.
First of all, wonderful job. Wonderful job. What was one thing that you liked about your performance today?
I liked the beginning when I was talking to my scene partner, and I really felt like the emotion, I guess.
Ooh, good, great. Put a pin in that. Set the scene for us. What's happening in the show?
So right now, she has her journal of her thoughts and her song, and they're losing the competition, the bandstand competition, and so they're going to need to use her song. And she is basically very vulnerable because she's having to put herself out there and let everyone know how she feels, and after she's gone through her husband dying.
Yes. So what I want us to do, and we're gonna work on a few things today, and one of those is to play with those emotions to help with the entirety of the song. When this song happens in the show, what is happening? A competition, right?
Yes.
So she gave the journal to the person she might have a crush on. I don't know quite yet. But the lights come up and this song starts. And bandstand as we know it, as a society, that's what we see. And what's so fun about this song is that we get to watch this character perform and feel it at the same time. And what I want us to do is I want to create some more of those performance moments starting from the beginning, so that when you go internal, we see it. It's almost like there's if we were staging this and I was doing some lights, we would do a light shift. So
Yeah.
teacher, do you have the track ready to go?
Yep.
Great. So what I want you to do, Hannah, is I want you to close your eyes. Person you have a crush on wrote you a song. These are all positive emotions, so I'm okay with doing this. And you are about to perform at the Mid-Atlantic Region Nat Masterclass. You have all the lights. You have all the audience. We aren't in COVID. And you are about to rock the party. And right before you start to sing, you look over, and the person that wrote you the song gives you a little wink. And then the song begins. Go ahead and start the track.
Once upon a time, I would wake beside a man who had made me feel like nothing could take him from me. Once I thought forever was real. I thought my life was ideal. I thought that nothing could steal it, you see.
Okay, now pause. What do you think? Did that change anything for you?
It did. It seemed more positive. It seemed that she was finding the joy in the song rather than the thinking back on the good times and being like
all the hard times, right? Because she's gone through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And what does she want more than anything? To go back to when it was when she had her husband that was alive.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what she wants. And she's finding somebody that might get her back to that place, which, you know, grief is a whole thing and it's another whole masterclass.
Mm-hmm.
But find the joy. Yes. Okay, cool. I'd love for you to find a little bit more joy in that, but because of time, I'm going to move on, okay? But, oh yes, find the joy. That was just so lovely to listen to. Second thing, can you do for me, Wondering When? Would you mind starting there for me, please? Just a cappella is fine.
Okay. Wondering when.
Can you keep that vowel open longer? So yeah. I'm hearing wonder. You're not closing to the end, but you're thinking about it. Can you sing for me? We're going to play this a little bit. Okay. Stick your tongue out. You are not trying to sing the loudest you've ever sung in the world, but you are trying to sound like a baby crying who's in the other room. Oh, did we all hear how that started from the throat? Did some of us hear that? I heard that. I want it to start from here. Take this tongue and put it back in the mouth and go wah, wah, wah.
Wah, wah, wah.
Thank you. That was much better. Wah.
Wah.
Oh, but see, when I ask you to put your tongue out, I mean lick your chin. Because, I'm sorry, go ahead and do it. Okay. Okay, now shoot for that, where you're feeling that wah. Wondering when. Go ahead.
Wondering when.
Can you feel like you have a little bit more space in the back? You have a lot of great space happening. Can you try that for me again?
Yeah. Wondering when.
I liked that better, for sure.
Okay.
You fell down. You went, wondering when. Maybe a little less on the bottom, but that was really great. Does that feel different to you?
Yes.
Great. Your teacher will translate what I'm saying because I'm going really, really fast. Okay. I would love for you to work with your teacher just to have a little bit more chestier sound in the middle. Okay.
Got it.
Planning. What's the operative vowel in ah? Oh, I just gave you the answer. What's the operative vowel in the word planning?
What was that?
What is the operative vowel in the word planning?
Eh.
Okay, can you, I'm hearing eh. Back to that ah sound.
Plan.
Wah. Wait. Wah.
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 Plan.
Plan.
How does that feel?
Good.
Now let's put it in context. okay? Because doing it out of context is super simple. Heaven knows there's more than one ah. Go ahead.
Heaven knows there's more than one man.
But don't lose the space.
Okay.
And plus space. Do it again.
Got it. Heaven knows there's more than one man.
Keep going.
Okay. Heaven knows there's more than one man, and maybe I should be planning for when.
Now tell me, does that feel easier to do?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think we just need to bring, when we get above a B, Jill, how much time do I have? 5 minutes, perfect. When we get above a B, I like to think of the vowels converging forward, and the operative vowel is ah. But if we do ah like this, ah, we get really, really, really tight here.
Mm-hmm.
So I love the space that I'm seeing up on top, but I would love it to just be a little bit brighter, and you can ride that
Okay.
because that was really, really nice and seemed easy as peasy to you, correct?
Yes.
Yes, cool. Okay, let's do, I would like to try something, and we know it might not work, but we're gonna go to, and it's almost like time will sit still. Can you do this for me? What we're addressing right now is I feel like you're overspacing a little bit in the speech-like mix place, a little bit down, and the chest voice. And so I want us to see what it feels like to just think of the jaw as a piece of furniture. It's just there. It's just hanging out. Not doing anything fancy. Can you try for me? Go ahead. I'm gonna be pretty. This is not pretty. This, excuse me, you sing gorgeously, and what you just gave me was pretty, but this exercise is not meant to be. Okay? Try it again. Keep going. Oh my God.
Okay.
It's so good. Okay, you're still wanting to be pretty, but where do you feel all of that?
I feel it more like here, but with space.
I'll take everything. I'll take it. I love it. Now, can you sing that same way with that in mind? You can do the words with the jaw. Try it for me.
Okay. And it's almost like time has stood still.
Yes! Quiet yourself. I'm sorry. I'll mute myself. Do it again.
Okay. And it's almost like time has stood still, like a lifetime iced under a frost.
Yeah. How does that feel?
What was that?
How does that feel?
Better. Freer.
Yes, and I love your sound, but I just love it just a bit more with us embracing the chest voice. Right? Be careful on singing the L's of still. Stay. Okay. And be really, really quick, but we don't need to do that again. Okay. Final thing, because I think I have 1 minute, is what I'm seeing. You have a gorgeous countenance when we were doing this at the end. What I'd love for you to do is imagine that you are getting washed away. Emotions are coming. All of the things are happening because you're performing at Mid-Region Nats, and all that's happening. You know the section right before it gets soft, before it gets loud again?
Yes.
I'm going to give you that moment. Okay. And I want you to remember that everything that you show with your body, you're showing in the character is feeling. So you had a big motion. I can't remember where it was in the video.
Again.
No, before that. This is right before love will come and find me again. You kind of did one of those motions. This motion comes to this because the lights have shifted and you're back to internal moment. And then we're back. So you did it in, but we need to see your eyeballs come back. Go from internal to external. Do we have the time to sing it, or are we done? We can sing it. Okay. So I'd like you to do the soft section to the end. Letting go.
Got it. Letting go of what might have been and letting something else in. Only then
Be back with us. Be happy. Go for it.
love will come and find me again.
Yes. Good. Watch the additional H at the end, and you have 11 beats. Boom! You did 2 buttons in the video. It was so wonderful to hear you sing. Thank you so much for your work.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Both of you, very, very great job. Next, we're going to move to Max Fernandez Escalona, who's a student of Keeley Phillips Carter. Hello, Max.
Hello.
And Max will be working with Professor Jessica Doyle Mekas. So, hi. All right, let's get the
Hi, my name is Max Fernandez. I will be singing My Mother is a Singer by Ricky Ian Gordon. My mother is a singer. Sing, Mama, sing of how you gave up everything. Mama, burned your whole career for a fling. Mama, sing. Sing of all your courage. What, Mama? Who said life is fair? You know it's not. Mama, please, you know you've given us a lot. Mama, sing. Sing of all your sorrow. Dream, Mama, borrow what was pretty when you slept. Mama, make believe a promise can be kept. Mama, sing. I love you more and more now. Yes, Mama, even though this life is such a mess. Mama, just to hear your voice is a caress. Mama, sing. Sing of how it's not what you expected. Sing at least one thing can be perfected. No one isn't born to be rejected. Sing. Sometimes when you're singing, it's funny. Something in your face becomes so real. Mama, what are all those things you seem to feel? of what you take and what you bring. Mama, sing.
All right. Thank you, Max. Oh, where are you? Can I get so I can, there we go. Oh, that's not him. All right. So, there you are. All right, now I've got you. Fabulous. Really, really nice job.
Thank you.
Really, that is not an easy song. Oh my goodness, what a story. How did that go for you? I mean, I'm assuming it went well, as that was your video submission for Nats, but
It was a little hard. It's very emotionally, not the voice crack, very emotionally like heavy. So it's hard for me to put that out.
Okay, gotcha. So I'm going to start talking about, I'm going to kind of divide our time together into sort of technique and performance. Our brains are really terrible multitaskers. So I know you've already done all the technique work, so that's already set. I advise when you practice to sort of divide things in half and really focus on one thing and then close that book and then focus on the other thing, because sometimes when we try to focus on too much at once, we don't do anything terribly well, right? So I thought the singing was lovely. I thought you were very resonant. I thought your timbre or your sound quality was really consistent throughout the whole song, and it was very warm and rich, and that's so important in musical theater. In most musical theater, we look for that consistency of sound. Any vowel, any volume, any part of your range, we look for that. So I thought that was all really, really well done. My question for you is, did you feel trapped? Did you feel like afraid to move your arms?
Yeah, I used to have a tendency to move them a lot, and then I started moving towards don't move, don't move, don't move, and now it's kind of, I don't know where to find the healthy medium sometimes.
Okay, cool. Here's your healthy medium. You just did it, right? Because this character is a human. It's a human being. He's a guy. You want to think of this as he's just having a conversation, just like you and I are right now. So if you were having a conversation and you were really telling this story, and I know the show is very autobiographical for its composer, you would use your hands in the same way that you and I are using our hands right now. Okay, so I would just encourage you to explore that and not to feel trapped in like, okay, I'm kind of in the crook of the piano and I have to sing, and more to think of it as I'm a real person who's really telling this story about my past. Okay, my other question for you is, did you feel like you were struggling to maintain your breath throughout some of those longer phrases?
Yeah, I have a tendency to like not prepare.
Okay, so we're aware. Good. So that was just the other major thing, and I say major, it was not major, but major thing that I noticed was that it seemed like you were running out of air when you got to the end of the long sing. Okay, so my favorite exercise with this, which we can just do quickly, is to go through the phrase before the long phrase or a phrase or two before, and when you take your breath, you're going to sing in time, but then when you take your breath, stop and really focus on taking the breath that you want to take. So take just a normal breath for me. Okay, where do you feel expansion in your body when you breathe?
Sometimes I have a tendency to like move up, but like I try to focus it towards like bottom of the rib cage.
Okay, cool. So let's take a breath, since that's where you have been working on focusing it. When you take your breath, focus it on the bottom of that rib cage, okay, and take all the time you need to get the breath, and then sing that next phrase in time. So you really just get a sense of what it feels like to sing it on a full tank of gas. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, can we do that? Can you take maybe like the first verse for me? And what I'm looking at is the line that's mama sing. Where do you take your breath before you sing the mama sing and then you hold sing out?
I take the breath right before mama.
Okay, perfect. So give me the line before that. And then when you take that breath, and mama, take all the time you need to take that breath, and then go ahead and sing the rest of it.
And is this the very first verse you're talking about, or like the end?
Any verse that you want. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that. Can you just do a cappella for me?
Yeah. Something in your face becomes so real, mama. What are all those things you seem to feel? Mama, sing.
so now you're taking the breath before, what are all those things you seem to feel, breathe, and then mama sing?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna do it again, but I want you to actually stop.
Okay.
Really take the breath and then sing it. So you
Okay.
take out a time in that moment.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Try it again.
What are all those things you seem to feel? Mama, sing.
Well, that's different, right? Yeah, it feels a little different when we've got a full tank. So then what you would do is obviously work towards being able to do that in time. Okay, so then you give yourself a little less time and then a little less time until you're back in time with the music. Okay. The other thing you might try, and I think this will help with the feeling of being trapped as well, is just bouncing or moving your arms. Sometimes I have my students do jumping jack arms or just bounce while they're singing, and that helps to free up that body and that breath as well. Okay, and that'll help as well when you get the breath more controlled through that phrase. It'll also help with that vibrato at the end, with that being more consistent. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Good. All right, let's talk about the performance a little bit. So I like to ask my students when they're working on a song, the 3 C's: character, which my 3 C's are character, context, and culture. Character being who are you, context being where in the show are we, and culture being what's the world of the show. So do you know the answers to those 3 things?
This is not from a show. It's from the album Sycamore Trees by Ricky Ian.
Right, which is a musical, right? He's a character.
I'm not sure of these things.
Okay, gotcha. So so his name is Andrew, and so let's do it this way, since you don't know the answers to that, and I will let you look that up on your own time. What do you think it's about? Who do you sing this as, and what do you think it's about?
I just sing this as it's like you said, like autobiographical. I kind of imagine it almost like a therapy session, just letting it all out.
Okay, great. So you're singing it as yourself. Okay. Do you feel like you are singing it to someone?
Not really. It's more just I guess kind of not like a therapy session, but it's not like to anyone specifically.
Okay. So perhaps something happened to you and you're alone in your room and you're writing this song.
Yeah.
You're singing this song about it. Okay. That makes total sense. All right, great. So the first thing I would say is use the intro. Okay, use the music and use the interludes. There are a couple of interludes where it's like when you're singing it, you were very in it, and then when the singing stopped and the music continued, right? You sort of dropped the energy. So what's happening in the introduction to the song? What are you thinking about that makes you start?
I use that that interlude at the beginning to think about what the first verse is.
Okay. Okay, good. So I would encourage you, all right, so you have those lyrics down. So I would encourage you to think about an image or a moment that's going to motivate, that's the big acting word, right? That's going to motivate that first verse. So what's the first sentence in the song?
My mother is a singer, sing mama.
Okay, great. So you can make this as autobiographical or non-autobiographical as you want to, okay? But whoever it is that you're singing this about and whoever it is that you're thinking about in that moment, you want to be thinking about them before you sing the song. I want to see what you're thinking about. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Okay, you definitely want to use those musical interludes. Let's see. Else did I want to talk with you about? Oh, I love how, I believe it is in the second verse, you say the word dream, and it is so lovely. You really speak the text, and I want you to do more of that, okay? The other thing I would say is I think you can get rid of the g on the end of your sing. We can keep it more what we would call speech quality, which is like talking on pitch in those verses, as if you and I are just having a conversation, okay? You're getting plenty of diction. I'm still understanding what you're saying, which is very important, particularly in a song like this, which is very Sondheim-esque, where we want to make sure that the audience gets all of the lyrics the first time we go through, right? So I think you can get rid of that and still keep great diction. But do more of the speaking. Do more of telling the story, okay? Do more of using and coloring the lyrics like you do, okay? And then the last things, I know we're running out of time, the last thing I would say to you is in about 3/4 of the way through the song, there's a shift. Do you know what I'm referring to? There's like an emotional or a feelings shift in that third verse.
What's the third verse again?
You're singing, the first two are very dark, and you're singing about the things that she gave up and the things that.
Oh, I love you more and more now.
Right. Yes. There's a shift there. Right. Yes.
Yeah.
I want it to be bigger. Okay. I want this song. This song it could be very, very dark. Okay. And this is a really important point. So it's the one I'll leave you with. If you're just bummed, if you're just dark emotions for all 3.5 minutes of this song, me as your audience member, I don't care that much. Like, I'm sad for you, but it's like, well, that was fun, right? But if you take me on a journey, if you lift me up, and if I see you thinking not so much about the bad things that happened, okay, but about the hope that it could get better. If I look at you playing the positive, if I look at you trying to add moments of light into the darkness, then you've lifted me up. And then if you want, you can drop me again, right? And that's when that really emotional, a friend of mine says, that's when the old ladies grip their pearls. That's what you want, right? Is you want to be able to have them, and I use Les Mis as my example all the time. If Eponine's just sad for 3 minutes and on my own, oh, I'm sorry, girl, that's just too bad, right? But if I see how desperately she wants him, and then I realize she's not going to get him, and then she dies, I mean, that's when the old ladies grip their pearls. So that's what you want to try to do here as well, is take me on a journey. Take me, really think beginning, middle, end, and really think shifting, like you're on a light dimmer switch, light to dark and dark to light, and you decide when you shift and how much you want to shift. Okay, but really try to make those shifts, because without that, you have a very repetitive musical line. You have a very strophic song. And in that way, it can get a little boring for your audience. Okay, and so you definitely want to keep the story alive. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Okay, perfect. Am I out of time? Okay, good. All right. But really well done. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Max. All right, thanks.
Wonderful, wonderful advice. Great job. Thank you both so much. Next, we're going to move to Natalie Friedrich, who's a student of Madeline Gray, and she will be working with Timothy Sparks.
My name is Natalie Friedrich, and I'll be performing Salterò che lacrime by Mozart from La Clemenza di Tito.
Wonderful. Wonderful, Natalie. Congratulations. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful. And thank you for sharing some repertoire from the operatic canon that we don't typically hear. This was an opera that Mozart wrote right at the end of his career. He wrote it premiered right after Magic Flute in September of 1791, and then he died in December of that year. So this was one of the last things that came out of him. At least it was his last opera. Can you tell us what kind of an opera this is classified as?
I believe it's a dramatic opera.
Yeah, and like in the Baroque period from the great Handelian tradition, it's called an opera seria. And a lot of serious opera was tragic, where the gods were messing with people and nothing worked out very nicely. This, however, has a lot of that mess, but it does end slightly happier than a lot of opera seria plot lines. Can you share a little bit about the plot and your character and what's happening?
Yes, so for some context, the character I play is Servilia, and I have a brother named Sesto, and he's madly in love with Vitellia, who is the daughter of an emperor. And she is plotting to kill Tito, who is an emperor, a Roman emperor, and so she uses Sesto as a pawn and tells him he should kill him. So he tries to, I believe, burn down the building he's in, and he gets caught, he doesn't succeed, and so he's going to be put to death. And so I walk in on Vitellia crying, and so this song I'm singing and I'm telling her that her tears are useless and that they're in fact cruel because she won't do anything to save him.
Right. So there's a lot of soap opera intrigue, a lot of love trysts along with the political power. So you're telling Vitellia, so sorry, but this isn't going to cut it.
Yes.
So I think in your dramatic sense, you could be much more accusatory, sarcastic, taunting. In other words, the melody that Mozart writes for most of his arias is elegant and beautiful. But a lot of the times, the things you're saying are not that. So I think you can sing against the tune and really dig your elbow into her side. To tell you're the one that got Sesto mixed up in this.
Right.
Now, none of you know that Tito will pardon everybody by the end of the show, but nobody knows that right now. So this is her moment to really be strong and say, this is not going to cut it, and I am not happy with you, and your tears do nothing.
Okay.
You're not emotionally moved by them, nor is anyone else in this situation. So you can think about, how does that attitudinal stance change the color of how you present the text? Your Italian is actually very good, very idiomatic. There's a couple of things that I think we can point out. One is, I think you can have more word stress.
Okay.
Bringing that out because a lot of the text repeats, and you can linger on the very few double consonants that are in this text. So could you just recite the text first?
Yes. Saltro che lacrime, per lui non tenti.
So again, try to be a little more in the iambic pentameter.
Okay.
So it'll be saltro che lacrime per lui non tenti.
Okay.
You're sort of saying to her.
Okay. Saltro che lacrime per lui non tenti.
Right, and when you do that, you actually create a phrasal doubling between che and lacrime, which is appropriate.
Okay.
Go to the next line.
Tutto il tuo piangere non gioverà.
So it stresses on the last syllable, gioverà,
Gioverà.
and use the intensifier. You could say, tutto il tuo piangere gioverà. The intensifier is non, right? So, tutto il tuo piangere non gioverà.
Tutto il tuo piangere non gioverà.
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 Yes, good. Go to the next line.
Tutto il tuo
Go to the next line of text. I wasn't clear. No worries.
A questa inutile pietà.
che senti.
Okay, senti.
Yeah, finish the whole line. And here you have a phrasal doubling between a questa and che senti. So give a little space for the K of questa and a little hiss of the S for senti. So it'll be a questa inutile pietà che senti.
A questa inutile.
Put a little space. A questa.
Okay. A questa inutile pietà che senti.
Pietà che senti.
Che senti.
Yeah, that's better. And the vowel for questa is a closed E. Instead of questa, like Quaker State oats. Think a little bit more in the nose bone there. Do the last line of text.
O quando è simile.
So here, that's an emotional sort of interjection. O quanto.
O quando è simile la crudeltà.
La crudeltà.
La crudeltà.
There you go. It has lament, but it also has a little bit of that nudging her that she has done terrible things, right, and there's not really going to be a solution. Thank you very much. Sester's going to be killed. Are you happy? So dry up those tears, young lady. Is kind of what you're saying to her.
Right.
Okay, can you speak the text, and I promise we'll sing. Will you speak the text one more time and show us that sort of chip on your shoulder stance?
Okay, from the last line or
just the whole, it's not that long, just the whole text of the aria.
Okay. S'altro che lacrime per lui non tenti, tutto il tuo piangere non gioverà a questa inutile pietà che senti. O quando è simile la crudeltà.
Okay, that's a little bit better. I'm getting more of an edge, and that's okay. You can talk with your teacher about how much of that you all feel is appropriate, but I think you could go further in that way.
Okay.
All right, let's sing a little bit of this, putting that in. And I've got a piano here. I can give some pitches. We'll just do it a cappella rather than fiddling with a track. And I love the richness of your tone. When you go into the upper, middle, and top, can you have more domey space?
Yes.
In other words, you have a beautifully God-given brilliance in your voice. You don't need to add brightness as you go through the passaggio into the head voice. Enjoy that opera lady dome that I know you kind of know you know. Try that from the beginning. Yeah, so right there on the la, give us that double L as a little bit of a dig at Vitellia. S'altro che lacrime. Oh, your little tears. Boo-hoo. Okay. Again.
S'altro che lacrime.
Go on. Yeah, on those eighth note couplings, use your portamento, slippy, slidey, vocal connector, however you and your teacher talk about that. So it's not per lui non senti. Okay. Try that line there. Senti, senti. Put a lot of gurgle in there, right on senti. Do you feel there's a little, almost a glottal from the E down to the D? Yes. You can say no.
Yes.
You do. Yes. Can we erase that maybe? And can the D vibrate like a Tasmanian devil?
Okay.
That is so beautiful. To me, that is your core tone fullness that you can employ much, much, much more.
Okay.
So you can employ that through the whole song. Let's talk about the ending.
Okay.
And this is a very traditional Mozartian ending where he has these high phrases, but it's not the end. Right. The actual cadence is a much lower phrase. And Mozart does that all. I'm a tenor, and so I know all these Mozart tenor arias have all these high notes, but they're not the end like a Puccini aria would be.
Right.
So I'd like to see if you can develop your soprano float and do the first one kind of sort of soft, and I'll let you decide what that volume is. And do the second A up there a little bit louder, and then where it's low in the middle, the loudest of all.
Okay.
So start at the tutto into that first one, and a little more. Most. Yes, and you storm off the stage with your crown of glory.
Okay.
How does that feel to you?
It feels much more, it's a different tone than I think I was taking, so it feels more passionate in a different way.
Yeah. And so almost all professional sopranos that sing this on stage, they have this gradation, and you can talk to your teacher about the best way that should happen for you. But I think you can develop even a softer sound up there once the heebie-jeebies and the technique is settled. But beautiful work on a challenging opera and a challenging aria. Really, what a pleasure. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, so good, so good. Thank you so much. Next, we're going to move to Gaston Finger, who will be working with Dr. Robert Wells. So Gaston is a student of Amy Ayers. Excuse me.
My name is Gaston Finger. I'll be singing Se vuol ballare from Le nozze di Figaro by Mozart. Se vuol ballare, signor continuo. Se vuol ballare, signor continuo. Il chitarrino le suonerò. Il chitarrino le suonerò, sì, le suonerò, sì, le suonerò. Se vuol venire nella mia scuola, la capriola le insegnerò. Se vuol venire nella mia scuola, la capriola le insegnerò, sì, le insegnerò, sì, le insegnerò. Saprò, 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 ma piano, 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 piano. In ogni arcano dissimulando scoprir potrò l'arte schermendo, l'arte adoprando, di qua pungendo, di là scherzando, tutte le macchine rovescerò, rovescerò. L'arte schermendo, l'arte adoprando, di qua pungendo, di là scherzando, tutte le macchine rovescerò, tutte le macchine rovescerò, tutte le macchine rovescerò, rovescerò, rovescerò. Se vuol ballare, signor continuo, se vuol ballare, il chitarrino le suonerò, il chitarrino le suonerò, sì, le suonerò, sì, le suonerò.
All right, Gaston, well done. Well done.
Thank you.
So good, another Mozart aria, which I love, and it's quite different than the one that we just heard, and we just heard Professor Sparks work so well with, and Natalie sing so beautifully. So tell me a little bit about what's going on in this aria. What do you know about Figaro and what he's singing about?
Okay, so pretty much the extent of what I know is that Figaro, who is a servant to the Count, has discovered that the Count is trying to sleep with his love interest, whom he is going to marry, I believe, soon.
That's right.
And so, well, he's not happy about that. And he's kind of, this is him being like, I'm gonna catch you. I'm gonna tear apart your plot.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. Right, because Figaro is engaged to Susanna, and he's discovered that the Count has designs on having his way with Susanna, right? So who wouldn't be a little upset, perhaps? Yeah. Good. So now, when you hear this, sorry, I'll play the right key. How's that? What does that sound like to you?
It's kind of like, it's like jumpy.
A little bit?
I don't know.
It has a bit of a dance feel. Do you hear that there's a little bit of a dance movement in that? And Professor Sparks is right. Mozart writes almost everything is elegant, right? But sometimes what we say when we're singing is anything but elegant. But he builds this aria, right? This is sort of a little vengeance aria, right? He wants to get at the Count. And he does it in this way that is really built around this very elegant dance form, right? So when you hear in the orchestra or in the piano that this, right, it's very light, very elegant, and a little bit of space. And I like the fact that you've approached your line with a little bit more legato. And I think you can actually do that even more. I think you can have a more distinct texture in your line and really think that or sing that with as much legato as possible. Will you speak the text at the beginning for me, please?
Se vuol ballare, signor continuo.
Great. Now, what does that mean? Do you know?
Yeah, if you want to dance, Mr. Count.
Right. If you want to dance, I'll play. Right? I'll play. You can dance. But he's not really talking about dancing, is he?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he might make him want to dance so that, but this is a threat, if anything else, right? Mm-hmm. So again, can you have a little bit of almost like a little bit of dig in that? Se vuol ballare, signor continuo.
Se vuol ballare, signor continuo.
Great. Yeah, that's got that energy, right? And so in that spirit, then, sing your first phrase with that kind of line and that kind of legato.
Se vuol ballare, signor continuo.
Good. Nice. Feels good?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Now we're going to flip this around just a little bit. So rather than being angry, can you be the opposite emotion once? Could you be as jubilant, as joyful, as happy and elated as you could possibly imagine?
Se vuol ballare, signor continuo.
Go on.
Se vuol ballare, signor continuo.
Yep, go on.
Chitarrino le suonerò, il chitarrino le suonerò, sì, le suonerò, sì, le suonerò.
Good for you. All right, talk to me a little bit about how does that feel to sing it that way?
Definitely different. a little looser, I guess. I'm just used to being ready to fight.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's exactly the right thing, right? I mean, and clearly Figaro wants nothing more than to actually have a duel with the Count, right? He wants to take him out. But what you just did, I love the fact that you said that that feels a little bit looser, right? It was so much less effort in your larynx, right? You're much freer vocalism, right? And actually easier to get to the le suone rossi, yes?
Yeah.
And ultimately, that's what we want, right? Because you can be angry as a character. You can have all of that anger and emotion, but you can't be angry in your larynx, right? And so what you just did with the persona of that angry Figaro, I think actually sells a lot better. And it's going to be a lot easier to sing and sustain over time. Yeah?
Yeah.
Can we do that one more time? And so this is in 3. So this is going to feel a little bit awkward, but will you do a very high stepping march? So on every quarter note, you're going to walk. Yeah?
Okay.
Do you have room to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Se vuol ballare, signor continuo. Se vuol ballare, signor continuo. Il chitarrino le suonerò.
Good, good. What's the singing feel like?
Good? Not like not so much of a focus, I guess, because it's more on the beat.
Sure, and actually in the movement, right? And one of the things that that kind of movement does, right, is it actually gets you to free up really the lower half of your torso, right? And so what I see, you actually breathe pretty well. You get some good expansion in your breath when you inhale, but you also hold a little bit, right? You hold in your torso. And so this movement is just designed not really to distract you, although distraction ends up being one of the results of that, right? But the movement gets you to free up your body. So now you can get a better connection with your breath and you can use that to your advantage, right? So if we do that one more time and think now in your eyes, just with your eyes, you're going to be really angry just with your eyes. Right here, you're going to be as happy as you can imagine and you're going to still do the walk.
Okay.
Cool?
Yeah.
And can we move the tempo up just a tiny bit? Se vuol ballare, signor.
Se vuol ballare, signor continuo. Se vuol ballare, signor continuo. Il chitarrino le suonerò. Il chitarrino le suonerò, sì, le suonerò, sì, le suonerò.
Good. Yeah, I like where that starts to go. There's a lot more freedom in the sound. Yeah. One of the other things I think you can think about is feeling a little bit more movement of 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, rather than 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That extra weight on the downbeat of every bar is actually sort of landing also for a little excess weight for you vocally. Yeah. So dee-da-dee-da-da-dee-da, right? And really moving into the downbeat as opposed to moving away from the downbeat. Does that make some sense?
Yes.
Cool. So now can we look at talk about the B section, that faster section, just for a second? Yeah. What do you think about that section?
It's a lot of words.
It is a lot of words, and you're doing great with the Italian, right? The longer you work with this, and I think the more comfortable you get with it, I think you want to think a little bit about moving it a bit faster, right? So it really is latte schermendo, latte doprando, di colvogendo, di latte tando, tutte le macchine. And the way to get there is to just speak the text, not worry about speaking it in rhythm, but just speak the Italian. So can you speak a little bit of that?
L'arte schermendo, l'arte adoprando, di qua pungendo, di la scherzando, tutte le macchine rovescerò.
Great. So good. Now we're going to do that one more time. That's very good. That's very good. We're going to do it one more time. And I'd like you to think about two things. One, exhale, right? Really actually exhale as you're speaking. And two, think more legato. Think more vowel to vowel to vowel. L'arte schermendo, l'arte adoprando. Go ahead.
L'arte schermendo, l'arte adoprando, di qua pungendo, di là scherzando, tutte le macchine.
That's it. That's it. Now, now if you get that and you just keep working it that way, right? And just literally get it to fall out of your face like you're a native Italian speaker, right? L'arte schermendo, l'arte adoprando, di, right? Just let it fall out. And it's okay if it falls out and it makes a mess like I just did, right? You just do that until it really feels comfortable. And then l'arte schermendo, l'arte adoprando, di qual vocendo, and you can sing it at any tempo, right? That a conductor throws at you. And ultimately, a conductor is going to throw a tempo at you that you're not ready for, right? So if you go this way, you're always prepared.
Okay. All
Good.
right.
And the same thing about this, I think it's another sort of dance feel. Let it feel light, let it feel legato, rather than getting heavy, right? So that, again, it doesn't get too weighty and too heavy here. Professor Lewis, am I out?
Yeah, we're right about at time. Is this a good
Perfect.
stopping point?
Great, thank you. So Gaston, well done with this. Well done. It's great to hear you. Thank you so much.
Excellent, excellent. We're going to continue on our Mozart roll right now. We are on a Mozart roll, which is wonderful. Next up, we have Matthew Howard. Hello, Matthew. And he is a student of Craig Allen, and Madeline Gray will be working with Matthew Howard.
Hello, my name is Matthew Howard, and I'll be singing Dalla sua pace from Mozart's Don Giovanni. Dalla sua pace, la mia ti pende, qual che a lei piace, vita mi rende, qual che a lei ne cresce, morte mi dà. Morte mi dà. Se la sospira, sospiro anch'io, e mia quell'ira, quel pianto è mio e non ho bene se la non la, non ho bene se
piace, la mia dipende, quel che a lei piace, vita mi rende. Qual galla in crascia, morte mi dà. Morte mi dà. Morte mi dà. Quella galla in crascia. Morte mi dà.
Golly, this is just such a brutally challenging aria for anybody, and especially, oh, there's my side-by-side view. That's what I wanted so I could see you. Really nicely done. I mean, this thing, you know, I wasn't kidding. This really is an Everest. It is an aria that terrifies professional tenors. It's scary. And it comes after all the bombast of Orsai chi l'onore. You know, I was actually, when I knew that we would be working on this, I was talking to a colleague about this, and he was saying, you know, what else can you do with Don Ottavio? You can't have another vengeance aria. So Mozart had to do something else. You can't have two huge blockbusters back to back. So with that, I ask you, who is Don Ottavio? Obviously, we know who he is, but who is he? And what prompts this? What is he really saying?
Well, this is the point in the story where Donna Anna is convinced that the person behind the mask was Don Giovanni.
Mm-hmm.
And she made Don Ottavio promise she might be. Can you hear me? Okay. I got a promise to avenge her father, who was killed by Don Giovanni. So this is the point where Donna Anna has just become convinced that it's actually him, and so this aria is about trusting her, believing her, that I can't be happy unless she's happy. So
yeah, and I want to dig into that. Don Ottavio is a very challenging character, and he has this glorious music, but compared to the other more fiery characters in the opera, he's like the linchpin. He's the calm one. He's the Zen dude, I think. You know, you have Donna Elvira freaking out above the staff. You have Donna Anna screaming above the staff. You have Leporello laughing. You have Mazzetto getting angry. So, and here's Don Giovanni, Don Ottavio, who keeps saying, I'll do these things. I'll be the stable one. So what's he saying here? I'm trying to dig beneath the words and beneath the plot a little bit. It's hard. If you don't have an answer, that's fair enough. It's a really challenging character, I think. What does the music tell us about him?
Mm-hmm.
Big figure subtext into that. What is this beautiful?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not quite sure. He's very. To me, it's about like an inner peace, calmness.
Yes, I think that is absolutely right. And because of that, for me, musically, this aria is all about the legato. It's all about the legato. And I have to say, yours really was quite good. And that sounds like damning with faint praise, which isn't what I mean at all. I think for one as young as you and, you know, learning how to sing this challenging piece all over the map range-wise, that you did a really nice job with that. What I will say is that your legato is much better in stepwise places than it is when there are intervals. And I'll have to say, this is the one Mozart opera I don't sing,
So I have to actually look at the music to make sure that I'm in the right key. So I can't do this one from memory. Let's just do, excuse me, da la sua pace, without a mezzo break in the middle there. So could you just make that incredibly legato across all that arpeggiated piece? Hang on, I'm going to stop you right there. I heard a bunny hop between da and la. Now we need that double L. One of the tricks is putting that L on in a way that doesn't emphasize beat 2, so that da la doesn't become more important than pace. So think of this as a 2-bar breath impulse, which is really taking you to pace with the very best. All the notes between the notes, never let the vibration stop at all through the whole thing. Is this hard? Yes. Brilliant. You really nail it. You love that E, don't you? That's one of your favorite notes, I bet. That E is just so clean and clear. Can I have that same degree of free vibration on that? However you think of that. All the way through the da la sua.
Gotcha. Okay.
Don't overthink it. Just keep it vibrating. Just keep it spinning. Remember that the way we get our best legato is we don't stop the sound or the airflow between pitches, even though it sometimes feels a little messier. Particularly if we've done a lot of choral work, that feels like we're being sloppy. It really won't be. Internet lag. Is it me or him?
I think it's him. Matthew?
I think he's frozen. I'm sad. I wanted to hear this. We were just getting somewhere.
Hi, lately.
Are you there?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. I'm gonna make you do that again. I can just hear the back of your. This is, I think, this and the end are the hardest parts of it. Despite the challenges of the G's, we've just had all the screaming. We suddenly get to this moment of quietness. It's very exposed. These opening 2 bars have to be so grounded for the tenor so that he can just boom and do it. And then all those leaps at the end. But what I'm hearing is da. I'm hearing just a little bit of tongue, of low tongue and larynx creeping into that L. Just make it with the tip of your tongue goes up to the roof of the mouth and keep vibrating through it. Almost. It's hard for me to do in this register, but I'll try. I'm a mezzo. I have a break in that part of my voice, so I'll never sing it perfectly legato. Go ahead. Oh, he froze again. Almost. We hate your internet. We hate your internet so much because I think you got it. I think you had it there. So one more time, let's see if we can get it. Yeah, that's already much better. Now don't let the S of sua take you off it. Only stop the sound as long as it's necessary to make that S. Don't stop on it. The airflow happens by definition on the S. There should just be a micro hesitation of sound. We don't care about the S. We care about the gorgeous sound. Yeah. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So I feel so bad. Joseph told me that I have 2 minutes here and we've worked just literally on these 4 notes. But I truly do believe with this aria, and excuse me, on top of everything else, Maryland allergies have just started in the last 2 days. That's where the magic of this aria is. And I feel very strongly that it's where you can establish his character. Which sounds so crazy, but
That makes total sense.
he's giving us his reason for doing all these things that are sometimes accused of being kind of wimpy. You know, oh, well, he just does what she says. No, he's not. He's saying, my heart relies on her being happy. I love her so much that I want to do what I can. And we can do it in this sound. Oh, excuse me. Just sing the next phrase, which again, one breath impulse for those 2 bars. And make sure you're barely stopping your sound for those stopped consonants. We lost you again.
Oh.
I have a feeling because you're probably on original sound, it takes more bandwidth, and I guess that's why when you start singing, it's crumbling.
Should I turn that off? I don't know what that does actually.
We won't be able to hear you at all then, unfortunately. Try one more time.
Okay. That's so frustrating.
Pretty good what I could hear. I would counsel you to be careful with your Ds, because I heard that when we heard the video as well. The D is just stopping a little longer than necessary. Remember that our default setting should be legato. That when we should start from a point of legato, and then we can articulate as we choose. Obviously, a stopped consonant is going to have a microsecond, right? But we don't need to linger on that. We want to keep that legato steaming through. I'm so sorry that I couldn't hear as much as I wanted. It's beautiful. You have made an absolutely beautiful start on this challenging aria. Work it on just the vowels, making sure that your legato is absolutely there, and I suspect you've already done a lot of that. Keep working at it. This aria can grow with you. This is not an aria we put away at 22. It's an aria we start at 22 and keep working towards. So bravo, 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 and thank you so much for singing.
Excellent. Oh, the internet.
I know, so frustrating.
Oh, but beautiful work. Beautiful work. I'm excited to hear that. And we're going to wrap up today's program with another student of Craig Allen's, and this is Taylor Goodwin, mezzo-soprano, and she will be working with Dee Dee Francis.
Hi. Are we watching her video first?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Taylor Goodwin, and this is I Got Love from Pearly the Musical. Safe and
Yay! Thank you, Taylor. Where are you? Can you hear me?
She's coming up, I think.
Okay, great. Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Great. Thanks for singing. So, how is it to sit there and watch yourself while everybody else is watching you?
I hate it.
Don't we all hate it? I know. I know. But so what did you like? Obviously you liked it because that's the one you selected to send in, right?
Well, technically, Mr. Allen selected it. Yes.
Okay. So why do you think he picked that cut of it? Why do you think that was the version he liked?
I think it had a lot of joy.
Huh?
I think the sound was consistent.
Mhm.
I don't know.
So as you're listening to it, what do you is there anything like, "Oh, I don't like that," or is there something I can help you with before I jump in on other things?
I think the start of phrases, if that makes sense, and making sure it's not glottal. Because I don't feel tired when I'm singing it, but sometimes I do feel tension.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure that that's coming from a glottal, but we are going to talk about a couple of things that I'm sure he's talked about with, but we'll go over it too. I want to talk a little bit about the opening. So in the opening, you're doing it with a track, right?
Mhm.
Or is somebody playing live with you?
It's a track.
Okay. So it didn't really allow you for the freedom that I think you wanted to take a little bit more time in that beginning. So what does that first hum mean?
Like she's really feeling like the happiness of being in love.
Has she ever been in love before?
No.
Because you say later on, the first time in my life. So,
Mhm.
why do you think he says he thinks I'm afraid? Why do you say that he thinks I'm afraid?
I say that because the man that she's in love with is a preacher, and he wants her to put herself in this kind of dangerous situation for his benefit, and
Mhm.
he's like, "Don't be afraid," and then he leaves, and she's like, "He thinks I'm afraid."
And what does he do before he leaves?
He kisses her.
Yeah. That hum comes out of that. So I'm going to
Right.
give you a pitch. I hope you can hear it. And then I want you to like sing like there's nobody and just what you think you should do. So you just hum it any way you want. So stop, think. Yeah, I was going to say feel the kiss, think about it, there's no rush, and then react to it. Now I believe you. That was great. Oh, you gave me chill bumps. Look, the hair's standing up on my arm. That's great. So in that first measure of piano, that's what you have to be experiencing. So especially if it's in a show, and even if it wasn't out of a show and it was still that hum had to come from someplace. So that's the first thing I would say. That was great. Now I want you to say the next. This is kind of like operatic recitative. Do you ever sing opera? Okay. So this is essentially recitative, and I want you to speak it. The next couple of words. He thinks I would speak it in any way you want, that you think she would say it.
Okay. He thinks I'm afraid. He ought to know I'm not. Why should I be scared? I'm safe and sound because I've got love.
Great. That's how I would love for you to sing it. And I'm going to give you the chords in a minute to sing it with that. Is there a difference between he thinks I'm afraid and he ought to know I'm not?
Yes.
Okay, well, you said them exactly the same. So can you say, and remember, there's just a chord underneath you. You can take your time. So say he thinks I'm afraid, and then there's something different about he ought to know I'm not. Is she a little feisty?
Yes.
Okay. So show us a little bit of that. So say that line again.
He thinks I'm afraid. He ought to know I'm not. Why should I be scared? I'm safe and sound because I've got love.
Fantastic. Now I'm going to start at the beginning and play the piano part in, and then you're reacting to the kiss, and you're going to sing that first. We're just going to do it. You can do it a cappella. I trust you know it. But take your time and show all those things that you just did so well. So the piano comes in, and then you come in.
He thinks I'm afraid. He ought to know I'm not. Why should I be scared? I'm safe and sound because I've got love.
Thank you. That's beautiful. And if you had a live accompanist, you would be able to do that. So that's fantastic. Then the mood changes, and what happens next?
I'm like happy and like giddy.
Yeah, and how much song is left after the mood changes?
A lot.
A lot. So you're still savoring a little bit, okay? So
Right.
you need to start it like a young girl who's like never had love before, and then you get, I'm getting a little more accustomed to this. So I wanted to have it a little more subdued and still kind of in here before you're ready to let everybody have it. Does that make sense? So, I'm gonna play you into that. How does before we do that, how does love, 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 love when you go up to the? Is that really a G? Are you doing this key? Woo! Good for you. How does it feel when you get up there? What is your approach to that note?
I'm just trying to make sure that I start in a place that's forward, so that when I go up, I'm not like working to reach it.
Okay.
Does that make
And
sense?
yes, it does make sense. And so, and how do you feel in here with your swallowing muscles when you get up there?
I usually feel fine because I can take a good breath before that phrase. So
Yeah. So let's try it. Instead of singing the word love, can you go yeah, 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 yeah? Okay. So here's your first one.
Can you put it one more time?
I'm sorry, I did the wrong one. It's down here. So right there. Love, love, right there. And do it on blah, blah, blah. I changed my mind. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, but can you do it like you? You had a yeah. You were like, I'm trying to do something here. Just blah blah, and just throw it up there.
Okay. Blah, blah, blah,
blah. And can you put your fingers right here into your cheeks? Yeah. And then I want when you do the blah, I want your tongue just hang out of your mouth. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think this is that tongue is causing you to feel tired. I don't think it's the glottal because you're not doing a really harsh glottal to my ears. So that's what I'm thinking is causing the fatigue. Does that make sense? So the great thing is that you've got the word love, which gets your tongue forward anyway. So this time I want you to sing the whole, start on I'm going to let you go back to I got loves before that. Still staying a little subdued. And then when you get to that love, 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 forward is right, but it needs to have that feeling. Yeah? Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yes.
So can you do the first I got love?
I've got love. I've got love. I've got love, 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 love.
How'd that feel?
Really good.
Yeah, and it sounded really good. See, hairs again. Hair standing up on my hand. Good for you. Okay. Good. So that was just how can you build the song and still, because you had several pages to go. And I had a version that doesn't have as many repeats as you have, so that's fine. Do you have a track to sing it, maybe the whole thing through with this? Or not? That's okay.
Sure.
You do have it?
I have a track.
Okay, well, let me ask you something else. What do all the riffs mean?
Emphasis.
Okay, that's like intellectual, but not emotional. So what is the emotion? What is the emotional? What's the reason for a riff?
Because yes, I don't know. When I in this song when I'm riffing, I think it's an extension of like she's trying to really express whatever it is.
Well, you haven't told me what it is.
Oh, love, happiness.
Oh, well, that's so
excitement.
broad. Give me more specific. Let's think about this. What's as specific as you can get? Love is a very broad umbrella. Are you scared? Even though you say you're not scared of the situation, if this is the first time, you might be a little afraid of what it's going to require of you, maybe. Maybe.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
so what all is she feeling? So Jill is waving at me. Does that mean time's up? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So Taylor, hone in on that. You need
Mhm.
to give me specifics and just do a lot of
Okay.
It was wonderful to hear you. Thank you so much. This was beautiful and such
Thank
energy.
you.
Yay!
Wonderful job. Yeah, that Dee Dee, that's what love is blah. Just like that. Oh, what a great class today. Thank you everyone here. That was really fantastic and really appreciate you being here and doing this in this scary Zoom situation where anything can happen and everybody handled themselves wonderfully. I'm going to enjoy going back and watching that again. Come back tonight at 6 p.m. We will premiere the honors recital video. Craig has it ready and loaded to go on this YouTube channel right here. So we'll be glad to see the results for music theater tonight. Thank you all so much. Take care.